My girlfriend wrecked my bike. Yeah. Yeah. She wrecked my bike. It was this past Sunday. Today's currently Tuesday. And, yeah, she wrecked my bike. She wrecked my bike, into the back of my own car. Interesting how that happens. So it was a pretty shitty day. It was pretty rainy. We were driving back from West Virginia to the DMV. We were about, going on 6 hours in this trip?
Yeah.
Going on about 6 hours. And then, I guess here in Virginia, it rained pretty hard. So the interstate was really wet. And this part of the road was pretty terrible. It was a pretty bad road. And the cars in front of us happened to decide to stop all of a sudden, which happens to be a very common thing here in Northern Virginia because everybody's afraid to drive. And it was actually so bad that all the cars, I think me and the two cars in front of me, had locked up their brakes and we all skid. And yeah, and then the next thing I remember, there was this little white girl on the back of a motorcycle who was in my rearview mirror and then suddenly disappeared after a loud thump. Your turn.
A loud thump, so you felt me under your car.
Yeah.
What did you think? So you saw me and then you didn't see me and then you felt me under your car and then what did you think?
I thought it was kind of funny.
You're like, oh, I may have killed her, but that's funny.
Well, the thing is, whenever we were riding, or whenever she was riding and I was driving, so it was kind of like, I think she was far enough back that it gave me enough time, because I remember this very vividly. The cars in front of me slammed on their brakes, and then I slammed on my brakes, causing all the tires to lock up, and I had skid at least a solid 10 feet or so. And I remember looking back, and I was like, I just knowing since it's my motorcycle, I was like, there's no way she's gonna stop in time without like just swerving, like she's gonna like fly past us or something. And I remember looking in the rearview mirror, and I noticed this little white girl attempt to swerve left, and then I guess got scared of like oncoming traffic, and then she tried to correct it back to the right, but like hopefully in the chance that I would assume was to give her more time to stop, you know, adding more vertices to an A and B ratio. And next thing I see is her try to adjust it, fix it up straight, and then she just back of my car. So my own bike into the back of my car, and at this point in time, I knew it was gonna happen, so I had already braced for it like mentally, and I knew it was gonna happen pretty shittily. And so as soon as she hit my car, I made sure that she wasn't underneath my car. Like I didn't like get out and look, but like I made sure that she wasn't underneath my car. I gave her like a couple seconds to, you know, climb out from underneath it in case she was. Honest, I didn't think you were underneath it to begin with, but apparently you were. And I pulled off on the side of the shoulder, and luckily all traffic stopped so she didn't get ran over. That was great. And then I pulled over to the side of the road and just saw a little white girl standing next to a motorcycle.
Stop doing that.
My girl.
Babe, never in your life.
It is now. It is now that we started this. But then I had to watch her struggle to pick up the motorbike, and then
I tried once. I really did, because like, so there's like a technique to picking a bike up. So like I tried picking it up and I was like, not happening. So I just stood there waiting for him.
yeah, and then eventually I got over there and I tried to pick it up by myself. I got it up probably a good like 4/5 of the way, and then I had to have you help me up because it was fucking slick. The bike was super wet. All the fairings were cracked. The clutch lever was pretty loose. When we found out it was loose, we thought it was relatively broken, at least to a degree that it was shaky, it was wobbly. The clutch lever, it's like point of tension was pretty fucked. It was pretty far off, and then the actual shift lever itself was bent. You could tell it was pretty bad because you could click through first, and you could actually go like another 2 clicks down. So we think that somehow when the shift lever was bent, that somehow it fucked up the gears. I don't know, but the only thing we could do was first, neutral, and second. And we were about 20 minutes from home, or about 20 miles from. The time it took for us to actually get back was probably like another 30 minutes or so, because I could only get up. I was really riding second gear all the way back, and it was on my bike. Second gear is around from 10 to 20 miles per hour without having to shift up, and I was riding it at like 35 miles per hour, and that was lucky, because I wasn't even riding it all the way 35 miles per hour. And I had to let it off on the gas or the throttle so that the bike itself would not overheat and implode. So yeah, there was that. That was great. We finally made it back. We had to stop because the engine was getting too hot. That was great. It was fun. And then we took it to a bike shop yesterday, where a little Asian man tried to upsell me.
So my part of the story.
Go ahead, babe. We're gonna cut it all up anyways.
Okay, so I don't think I told you, but I was literally thinking, like, I was like, okay, like, I hope Corey doesn't brake now, because if he brakes all of a sudden, I'm going to be in trouble. But like, okay, so just before this happened, a car cut me off, and like Corey got like headsets for the helmets, and this was the first time we really tried them, and like we were battling with them. Like, you cannot hear what the GPS is saying. And so what we were doing is the bike would drive in front and the car would drive in the back, and then when we had to take a turn off or something, the car would overtake the bike and then the bike would follow. And so I was following him, and a car cut in front of us just before our exit, I assumed, because he had, passed me, and I didn't want to lose him. So I got around the car, and then like a few minutes later slammed brakes. I was probably like a car's length away. I don't remember going to the left, like you said that I swerved to the left first. I honestly don't remember that. I tried going to, okay, so I have a bike at home back in South Africa. We are in the US. Did we say that?
Yeah, well, I didn't say the US, but I assumed most people knew.
Okay, so we're in the US. I moved to the US like 8 months ago, for whoever doesn't know. So back in SA, like I had slipped with my bike before. Like, not slipped, it's just like I was riding in the rain and I braked, like, pulled brakes, and I started sliding everywhere. Nothing happened. So just from like past experience, like I knew what would happen if I like pulled the brakes too hard. So I tried going to the right, and as I went to the right, like the back wheel started sliding, like the bike started like turning. So I was like, okay, not gonna work. So I brought it back up straight, and then I was like, his car was like right in front of me. Like I could have like touched it at that point. And in South Africa, we witnessed an accident like that, and the guy went through the back of the car's window and he died. And like they weren't driving fast. So I was like, okay, like I don't want to go through the back of his window. So I was like, okay, fuck it. Like, I'm going to give it everything. I'm going to try the right-hand side again. And I ended up, like, the bike slipped. I went under the car. Like, my head was, like, inches away from the tire. Like, I literally, like, turned my head and I, like, looked at it and I was like, this is close. And yeah, I was probably, thinking about it now, I was closer to the left-hand side than the right. So it would have been smarter to go left, but I think, like, as Corey said, like, because of oncoming traffic, like, I didn't want to, like, go in front of traffic and then fall and then get driven over. So I was upset that I fell, but I'm happy that I fell the way that I did, if that makes sense.